Hello. Welcome to this thing we're doing. I am Greta. And with me is my co-host, girl from Kick-Ass, whose name I can't seem to think of right now.
Give me a second.
Aim at the microphone when you're gonna laugh.
Don't turn me.
Welcome to this thing we're doing. I'm Sir Hazen Vask.
I'm Kaden.
This is
And
Remy.
I'm crying of laughter. Because I didn't know where you were going with that. I don't know why it was so funny. Anyway.
This is
I never know what Sarah Hazen's gonna do until I press record.
Cause We Can podcast.
Number 16.
Woohoo! We are in the we're
Wow.
we've been in the double digits for a while, but yeah.
One more than last week. Alright.
Let's get into some news, Kaden.
The dog is mad at me. She's just
I
looking
think
at
she
me.
wants you to pick her up.
Oh, what do you want me to? She's not doing the thing with her head. That means she wants it to be picked up.
Usually, just if she's at the corner of the couch.
Talk to me.
I
son.
assume when she's at the corner of the couch, it means she wants to be picked up, or
No.
she wants us to sit down.
I think she wanted me to sit down.
That's not gonna happen. So, news. Disney Plus news.
Oh, it's gonna have every Disney movie, even the ones in the vault.
Yeah.
I sent you that. That
Yeah.
is, I'm like, okay. Literally, I read that and I'm like, it's worth. I'm gonna do it.
Wait, even the ones I didn't actually read the article.
Well, that was the whole title.
Even the ones they've retired for racial reasons.
Even the ones in the vault is what it said.
Okay, I need to read this article now. I thought it just meant all the
No.
animated
So
stuff.
usually right now you can't buy a new Blu-ray of
Yeah.
all of them.
Yeah.
I think it just meant that, not retired
Okay.
ones, but just all the.
So we're not gonna get songs of the South.
Probably not.
Good.
I've seen that actually.
We don't need a wide release of that.
I use that as an example of animation and live action mixed together.
Why not Who Framed Roger Rabbit?
I used that one too, but that one was earlier.
Oh. Or Mary Poppins.
I used all of them.
Okay.
This was an extensive project.
Paper?
Yeah, paper.
I'm assuming it was a paper. Was it a paper?
It was a long ass paper.
Nice.
10 pages.
But yeah, Bob Iger says...
I feel like you butchered that name.
You feel like I butchered what?
That name.
Bob Iger?
That his name?
Bob Iger,
Who's
yeah.
Bob Iger? I don't know. Just
He's
felt
the
wrong.
CEO of Disney.
Wow. I really should know things.
He's yeah, he is Disney, basically. He's top of Disney, because he's the frickin' CEO. Well, technically the top is the shareholders, but he works for the shareholders, basically, so...
He probably is a shareholder.
Yeah, that's usually CEOs are one of the shareholders.
Well, everyone can be a shareholder. You can just buy a stock.
Yeah. But shareholders do have the power to be like, we think you're running this company into the ground. You're fired. We want a new CEO. We want you to step down. Blah, 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 blah. Because that's how companies can work. But Bob Iger's not running Disney to the ground right now, so... Yeah. Hang on. Need to find where I was reading.
Remy's just staring at our Stormtrooper poster.
Bob Iger confirmed that it would, at some point, put its entire motion picture library on the service, including movies that have traditionally been kept in the archives, popularly known as the Disney Vault. This makes a lot of sense, as Disney has notoriously protected its back catalog of classic animated films, and the streaming platform will be a place where the company retains complete control of how fans interact with their properties. Yeah.
So well, that was a question I had. Is like, is it gonna have all the Disney movies? And it will. I'm sure it'll take a while to get everything on there, everything optimized.
That was kind of a question I had too. Was like,
And now that it does, when
a lot of people were thinking it was probably going to, or at least a good handful of the
at
animated
least
ones.
the new ones,
Yeah, at least like
because they gotta
newer
optimize
ones.
them for the platform, right? So it's like
Yeah.
there's some work involved. So I wouldn't
Yeah.
imagine on day one they're
But
all
there are
out.
like Blu-rays of a lot of them. A lot of the
No,
most
yeah,
famous
those.
ones.
Yeah, but like
Not all of them have been released in Blu-ray, but even how Disney releases their home videos, they always do like a special release sort of thing. They don't do like all at once.
yeah. No, it's a good thing, and it actually is going to make it worth it because Disney has so many movies. Because if you're thinking, oh, it's just Disney stuff, and what newish Disney stuff is there? There's not like a ton. I'd rather have Netflix with all sorts of new stuff. But if they have all the old stuff and this new lineup of shows that they're talking about, because they got Marvel, they got Star Wars, this is going to be pretty hardy, I think, and worth your money. Potentially, like, I don't know, we'll have to see when it comes out, but
yeah.
I'm excited.
Yeah, the article I'm reading, which is on the Nerdist, it says there's like no confirmation if this means some of the more risque ones that are in the Disney Vault, like Songs of the South, or some of the more racist older cartoons, like when Donald Duck joined the Nazis.
Well, you can just watch those on YouTube because they're in the public domain.
Not Song of the South, though.
No, I mean, but some of the older cartoons, you can just find them on YouTube.
Yeah. Huh. I thought they changed the laws so Mickey Mouse couldn't be put into the public domain.
Mickey Mouse can't be.
But the other ones are?
No, like, not a lot of their cartoons were just Mickey Mouse. They had all sorts of
But
stuff
I was
before.
more meaning like Donald Duck, Goofy,
Oh, no.
the other the Mickey Mouse
No, but
Clubhouse crew.
No, but the Merry Melodies early animations, I think, are all in the public domain now.
Yeah. Yeah. In other news,
Remy's
keeping
trying to,
with Disney,
Remy's trying to climb on your lap.
you know the popular theme parks Disney World and Disneyland?
No, never heard of them.
Never heard of them?
I've only been there like 12 times.
And you've probably never
You've
heard
never heard of them?
No, I was about to say, and you've probably never heard of the famous sci-fi series Star Wars either.
I just mentioned that we have a fucking Stormtrooper poster.
When did you mention that?
Like, we were looking it up the article, it was like really silent. I just looked at Remy and I'm like, she's staring at our Stormtrooper poster.
Ah.
Is it recording?
Yes, it's recording.
I have after Cloverfield, I have a...
You've been paranoid.
Yes.
Okay. Anyway.
So, about Disney World.
Disney World, Star Wars, their Star Wars expansion into Disney World, Galaxy's Edge.
Yeah.
It's the name of the land.
I know.
It's going to be in both Disneyland and Disney World, starting in Disneyland.
Yeah, it's going to be in like... Is it August in Disneyland?
August in World.
No, it's the
no,
other way.
August in Land, October in or September or October in World, I think.
Nice.
But they've also there was a big press release that happened recently about it. That released a lot of information, like how. Hang on. Yeah, how it just sounds so cool. The whole land is unlike all the other lands in Disney Park where you go in and you know how they discourage you to dress up? They don't really want you to dress up.
Yeah.
This one encourages you and sells the costumes. And everything's in world, you're not buying from a gift shop, you're buying from a artisan handcrafted toy shop, or if you want to get a stuffed animal, you're buying from a creature tamer, pet seller type person. Or yeah, so it's all pretty cool.
Yeah, it sounds really cool.
And also, it's the first park that has been made with the Disney Parks Play, or whatever it's called. It's either Disney Parks Play or Play Disney Parks, or some variation of those three words.
Okay.
Which is an app,
Yeah.
which like lets you interact with the environment when you're in Disney World and Disneyland.
Yeah.
So it's the first one since that's been released that's being made while that has been released. So that's a huge focus about a lot of the park.
Yeah.
And you can actually get like side missions from people
Nice.
too. Like you can either, it takes place between episode 8 and episode 9 within the new trilogy. And you can either choose to be part of the Resistance, the First Order, or scoundrels, the criminals, the underbelly of the world. The planet we're on is, what's it called? This has been said before, but it's I'm trying to find that. Where is it? Well, the town, the kind of trading post that we're stationed at is called Black Spire. And that's, I'd say, kind of cool. Pretty interesting name, Black Spire, and it's on, why can't I freaking find the name of the planet in this article? Well, there's also, well, I'm trying to find that. There's also 2 rides so far, with plans on expanding in the future. One ride is a Millennium Falcon ride where you get to crew the Millennium Falcon, and there's like, it's a crew of 5, 2 engineers, co-pilot and a pilot. No, I think it's a crew of 7. 2 engineer. No, it's like 3 different positions anyway. Of like, you can either be a gunner, a pilot, or an engineer.
That's like their other ride at Epcot.
Yeah, the Star Tours.
No.
That's what's at Epcot. Star Tours.
Well, you know, when you were in a rocket ship.
Yeah, Star Wars one.
No, before
No.
it was Star Wars.
Before it was Star Wars.
No, there's another one that's not Star Wars, and it's just a generic rocket ship. at Epcot.
Oh, that one. That's
It sounds
that's
exact-
at Epcot.
or MGM. I don't know.
I thought it was at the Future World in,
No, it's at MGM.
or the Land of Tomorrow.
No,
Part of Disney.
part of the Magic Kingdom. No,
Yeah,
it's
no.
at MGM.
Is that Hollywood Studios? Which is MGM Studios? MGM Studios has been renamed as Hollywood Studios.
Okay, it's been a while since I've been there. Okay.
Okay. Is that at that, or is
Yeah,
it at
there's the
Epcot?
drive test, and that one are like the 2 rides that were in MGM when I was there.
Yeah.
That and Tower of Terror.
Mhm.
And it sounds like that. It was cool. If it's like that, it's cool.
Drive tests. What do you mean
Stunt
by-
driver, something like that.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. That was a pretty new one too.
Well,
Around the time you would have went, I
Yeah.
assume.
when I went to Disney World, there was like only like, I don't remember any
think
Star
that
Wars
one's been,
things.
like-
There was an Indiana Jones thing, I think.
Yeah.
My grandma went
Yeah,
on it,
there's
so it
an
wasn't
Indiana
too
Jones one.
thrilling.
There's Star Tours. I don't know if Star Tours is still there, but it's been there for a while. It was there when I went, but I went when I was in grade 3. I don't know when you went last.
It's probably around the same time.
Hmm. I did go to. I know the rocket ship one you were talking about because I did go to that one. I just
Yeah.
thought it was in Magic Kingdom, because
Wow.
when you're a little kid, of like, how would 8, 9, grade 3, 8, 9, maybe even 7. Either
That's
way,
at the same time I would have been there.
Yeah.
I was like 15.
you're not that much older than me.
8 to 9.
You're like
to 11, 12,
4 years older than me.
13, 14, 15.
Oh my god. The age difference only feels small when we talk about our childhood.
I mean, big.
Yeah, big when we talk about our childhood. Because, like, now it seems small because like 25, 21, that's not a huge deal.
No.
Plus we're
Is that all about this one?
adults, so.
And what's the other ride?
Okay.
I mean,
The other ride is there's not a lot of information on it. They're still keeping it a lot secret. It's called Rise of the Resistance, I think.
okay.
Where it's been described before, I'm pretty sure, of you can choose to either be a part of the Resistance or a part of the First Order, and it's basically like you're in a battle, in a space battle between the two factions. So that's pretty cool.
Now I have a question. Is it within Magic Kingdom, like an area? Or is it its own entrance?
It's its own. It's like its own kind of land. I think you can get to it from Hollywood Studios. But like in Disneyland, it's like there's no. Disneyland, there's only like so far the two parks. There's Disneyland or there's California Adventure.
To be honest, I've never been to the California one.
I haven't been to Disneyland either, but I've only been to Disney World once.
And that's it, right?
Uh,
I have some news relating to that.
yeah?
There's a new Harry Potter ride that was announced. Harry Potter has two areas in Universal Studios Orlando and in Hollywood.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what it looks like in Hollywood. But they took down the original ride that was called, like, Fight of the Dragons, which was just a roller coaster with a Harry Potter name. Yeah. It was actually renamed just to fit in the park. So they've torn that down, and they've been under construction for, like, 2-3 years.
I think I've actually been on that ride before. It was Harry Potter.
Yeah. There's just two roller coasters that intertwined.
Yeah.
Well, they took that down because it wasn't themed at all.
Yeah.
So that's down, and there's gonna be there's a new ride where it's like Hagrid's Adventure. Ooh. So it's including stuff from the Newt Scamander films with all the creatures. So that was a good way to tie it all together because it's obviously it's gonna be so it's in the Hogwarts area, so that's why it's Hagrid's, not Newt because it's not New York. Yeah. Because the one part's Hogsmeade and the one part's London, right? So. Yeah. You get there by train. So
Newt's British anyway. But
No. But I mean, like, it's
not Fantastic Beasts.
Yeah, no, because that'd be in New York, and it's in.
The last one was mostly in Paris.
How the Harry Potter park works, Sarah, is that the one section is Hogwarts and the one section is London. Yeah. So it's in the Hogwarts section. So it's at Hogwarts. Mm-hmm. I don't know what it looks like. I don't know if it's an open air or if it's a simulator coaster like the Castle Ride. But I remember I've been following it in the news for years, and they've decided it's actually coming out in 2019. Yeah. They're almost done. When I was there,
wow.
When I was there the first time, they were building the Express. Yeah. And when I was there the second time, they were building this. So yeah. It'll be nice one day to go when it's all finished.
Oh, this is the one you were talking about for a while.
Mm-hmm, yeah. Oh. It just released what it's going to be called. And
they didn't release anything of what it was about before. Okay. No.
And it's
that releases this summer, right?
Yeah, this summer. And because last time I was there, the second park wasn't open. And
seems like a good summer for fandom if you go to California
or Orlando.
Well, that would be a good fall for fandom. But both Harry Potter and Star Wars. Well, Harry Potter getting a big expansion, like a new ride, and Star Wars getting its own land.
What was interesting, though, is the other Harry Potter open air coaster is also Hagrid based. So I'm thinking that one will probably come down. But that one's more of a children's roller coaster anyway. Yeah. Not a theme coaster, which they don't really move, right? It's like more simulated. Yeah.
Well, I'm excited to hopefully one day visit the Star Wars one.
Let's start saving.
Yeah, I got other things I have to save for first, but yeah.
Yeah. Me too.
Like those drastic student loans. Which isn't that bad because Canada.
Yeah. Anyway, that was fun. What's next?
Next is, let's talk Aquaman 2.
Which, I've never seen Aquaman 1.
I've yet to see it too because I'm waiting till I finally care enough to watch Justice League.
That's a hard if, you know?
I'm gonna do it eventually. I'm gonna slumber through it.
Gotta, like...
I've seen enough clips of it, I basically know the whole story.
I
Well,
have heard
I
it.
don't know the whole story.
I
but
have not even seen a trailer.
Yeah,
I really didn't care.
yeah.
And don't. I could go by the rest of my life with never seeing it. But I want to see Shazam, and I don't really care if I'm missing something. Maybe
Yeah,
Shazam, will...
looks...
Maybe
Shazam looks like it's pretty unrelated, too.
And also, if Shazam might inspire me to see it. Or it won't.
Yeah.
That is where I'm at.
After the bomb of Justice League, they've basically, with Aquaman and with Shazam and their... I don't want to say with the Birds of Prey or some weird subtitle about Harley Quinn being fabulous or some shit.
I think most people have checked out of DC because they've done a lot of random things. At least Marvel's been consistent.
It's just they've been doing... A lot of the last ones in the DC film universe have been like bombs.
They've been mostly...
Except for Aquaman was like what got people back.
But DC overall, there's way more bad ones than good ones in this DCU.
Yeah, and the new... Yeah, that's... Because they started with Man of Steel, which critically was okay. It was very decisive.
I hated
Divisive.
that.
Divisive?
movie.
Decisive? What's the word?
Derisive.
That's not a word.
No, it's not. I don't know what you're trying to say. It was shit, alright? And then
It was
Batman
okay.
vs.
I liked it.
Superman
Oh.
was fucking shit. And
Batman
then
v Superman...
Suicide Squad was a
looked-
mess of re-edits.
Batman v Superman looked good. The story was crap because they kept trying to adapt 3 different stories, 5 different stories into one.
It just was just garbage.
Too much of a... Yeah.
It was literal
The
trash.
most you can adapt into one movie is like 2 stories, and that's if you're like a really good writer.
Terrible.
Suicide Squad, I thought...
Was
I
awful.
enjoyed it for what it was.
Well, here's the thing.
It definitely was tonally off at parts.
What happened was whenever a movie goes back into production,
Yeah.
it doesn't go well.
They re-edited it.
No,
Like,
it went,
they hired a trailer editing people to edit it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But they actually went and refilmed.
Not as much as they did for Justice League.
No, but whenever a movie gets to the point where you're like, ah, shit, we've made a shit movie, and then you have to go back and refilm it, you might as well have just kept with
Yeah,
your
but those
shitty
happen
thing.
anyway. And
No,
a
but-
lot of good movies have,
When it's DC, it's a sign that it's going to be shit.
most good movies have... Most movies in general have reshoots. That's just a general...
No, not like
Nowadays.
that. Like, this is, like, back to production. It was wrapped.
Oh.
Yeah.
I didn't think it was wrapped. I thought it was, like, close to done, and then they were like, let's re-edit it. Let's hire... This trailer is different than what the actual movie is, so let's hire these people who did the trailer, and everybody's liking the trailer, so let's get these people to re-edit it.
They also reshot.
They didn't reshoot the whole movie, though.
No, but they reshot a lot of the movie.
Unlike Justice League, where they reshot half the movie.
Yeah, well, they
With
reshot
Joss
a lot.
Whedon,
Like,
as opposed to Zack Snyder.
it's just like, it's a mess. Whenever that happens, or, you know, when there's production troubles, it shows in the final project.
Sometimes. Most of the time.
Most of the time. If it's
There's
something
the
like
odd
this,
film.
where there's already too many hands in the pot, then it's gonna not work.
Exactly.
It's better to have a more focused from the beginning story that's not as good
Yeah.
than trying to make it better after, because that's just gonna fuck with it. And
Yeah.
what are we talking about anyway? Aquaman 2 is coming out.
Yeah,
Because
Aquaman 2...
obviously, because Aquaman 1 was their only successful movie in like 10 years.
Wonder Woman.
Wonder Woman was fine, but are they making a Wonder Woman 2? No.
Yes, they are.
I don't know. But
No, yes, they are. This has been announced for a while.
well, they're not making a
coming out
Justice
next
League
year.
2 because Justice League 1 sucked. So as soon as Aquaman did well, guess what they're gonna do? Aquaman 2, because they're just looking for money, as they all are, because that's a business. But you know what I mean? Like, they wouldn't have done it if it bombed. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I understand that.
It wasn't in the works before.
No, it was not.
You know what I mean? Like, it wasn't like, this wasn't a planned trilogy with like a vision. They were like,
But that's common.
money.
That's common for films too, is they
I know.
don't realize that it would require a sequel, that a sequel would be that good until they come out with the movie.
No, but those are bad movies.
No,
That's what
even
I've-
good movies like I'm
mean,
pretty
bad
sure
sequels.
stuff like Black Panther and Spider-Man and things like those from Marvel. Ant-Man and the Wasp wasn't originally on Marvel's Phase 3 slate, and then they replaced Inhumans, which then became a horrible TV show. They replaced Inhumans, which was going to be a movie.
These
with
were
Ant-Man
wise
and the Wasp.
choices. I'm saying
Because
DC
Ant-Man
can't pull
did
it
so
off,
well.
is what I'm saying.
I'm saying they're learning from their mistakes.
I'm saying they're more of a cash grabby company than I feel Marvel is in their actions. I don't know what their actual mindset is. It's just what they come off as.
But no.
The Joker's
20
popular. Let's make a third Joker in the last 10 minutes. You know what I mean? Like,
It's an Elseworld story.
but you know what I mean? Spider-Man feels like that too with Fox.
They're
Let's-
not with Fox, they're with Sony.
Whatever. That's what I meant. You know what I meant.
Yeah.
It was like, Spider-Man was a thing, so let's do Spider-Man again, and then let's do Spider-Man again, and it bombed, so let's give it to Marvel.
And then it got good, so let's make an animated. But I think they were planning the animated movie for a while.
Well, the animated,
So,
I'm talking only live action here.
yeah.
Because obviously they only made the Andrew Garfield ones because Spider-Man was
Okay,
popular.
no, they made the Andrew Garfield one, or the first one, because they're about to lose the film rights.
Exactly. Wasn't because they had the story to tell.
They were gonna make a fourth Sam Raimi one, but they're running out of time, and Sam Raimi didn't want to push to their schedule. So,
But you know what I mean? Whereas Marvel seemed like it was a bit more well thought out. Whereas these ones are like, oh, well, we'll just reboot the series. Where it's like, oh, everyone didn't like that Joker with all the tattoos. Let's get Joaquin Phoenix in here.
yeah. Now, I'm pretty sure Jared Leto's Joker's still in the DCEU.
But I don't know if you get what I'm trying to
I
say.
understand what you're trying to say is Marvel, the difference between Marvel and DC, which both have their good and bads for this, in my opinion, is Marvel, everything they're putting out that's live action right now, that's produced through Disney, through Marvel, is in the MCU. All their TV shows, be it on Netflix, be it on ABC, be it on Hulu, are in the MCU. And a bit of that is they can't, like, if a character's already appeared in a movie or already appeared in a TV show and they did it this way or that way, there's a bit of like a they can't do quite as much. Whereas DC's plan is, okay, we have a movie universe that's all connected, but on top of that, we're gonna start doing Elseworld stories. That's what the Joaquin Phoenix, Martin Scorsese produced Joker movie is. And it's probably going to be more of a gangster movie than a Joker movie. From the rumors.
You don't understand anything I say.
I understand what you're saying.
You don't, because you're not. Your point
No,
you're making
can I-
back
can
doesn't
I-
make sense.
No, but what I'm saying is because they have that, because they have Elseworld stories, their TV universe of the Arrowverse, and now they're doing another TV universe with Titans and Doom Patrol. They're more open to things not being in the universe, which can be good, can be bad. The bad thing is there's a lot of the same characters everywhere. Like, there's Flash in Justice League and a Flash on the TV.
Can I say something?
Okay, you can say something.
That shows that they don't really care about any of their properties. They're just, oh, everyone likes the Flash, so we're going to have more Flash. We're going to add more things. They are too scattered, and so their productions are not streamlined, meaning that they make a lesser product.
To some extent, but also to some extent, creators have more freedom to make what they want. And, well, not in their movies, but in their TV shows and their other stuff a bit. Because they have, like, had crosshairs with Justice League with Zack Snyder. But Marvel is a bit infamous for firing directors midway through a project because it doesn't fit within the greater MCU.
Yeah, but that is more targeted, more careful, more planned, whereas the DCU just throwing shit at the wall and seeing what sticks, which can work, but it doesn't work when it's very confusing for the average person. Mm-hmm. No one wants to watch any of this shit. I don't know anybody who likes any of it.
I know of quite a few that like a good chunk of it.
Yeah.
Not a lot of the movies, but my dad's a huge comic book fan, and he watches, like, all the Arrowverse shows.
Yeah, well, then he's not going to want to go and watch... So he liked the Flash show. But the Flash is different in the MCU. I mean, in the DCU movie.
Yeah.
So you're not bringing fans from that to your movie, because it's different, and it shows that you're scatterbrained. And that doesn't work well. And yes, be creative... But I don't feel they're doing it to be creative. They're not giving really original stories. They are just retreading what's popular in a cash grab move.
I think part of it is also you can't have a Justice League movie without the Flash, and the Flash show is
why not?
already
If you're being
something that
creative,
existed.
then have a Justice League movie without the Flash.
But that's like having a Avengers movie without the Hulk.
Well, they've done that.
No, they haven't.
Well, he's been not around where everyone else is a few times.
But they weren't the core Avengers. They weren't the first Avengers movie, is what I'm saying.
Well, what if
you have to have the core famous characters.
But what if the first Avengers movie just didn't have the Hulk? It would still be an Avengers movie.
Yeah, but people would be a little outraged because it would...
The people who read the comics? There's not that many.
Oh, ouch. Really?
I've never met anyone who reads comic books. Except you.
Oh, God. Okay, let's move on from this.
I win. Sarah gave up.
I don't think I even really touched upon the article except that it comes out in 2022. But let's move on from that.
No, I'm ready to fight you more.
Pokemon Sword and Shield.
Oh, I saw a funny thing where when in a third world country or wherever, they put it as Sword, Shield, and Gun.
Oh, like, was that just a meme or?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, like how...
And then they showed I don't know, I just thought it was funny.
How people thought the third X and Y would be Z.
Yeah. I'm excited. I like Pokemon.
Yeah.
I've never finished a Pokemon game. But I have them all.
I've only finished some by cheating.
I have them all. One from each generation.
No. Pokemon Sword and Shield, the newest generation to come. Coming on the Switch.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Why not on the 3DS?
Because the 3DS is obsolete.
No, it's not.
It is when you have the Switch.
The Switch doesn't do 3D?
No, it doesn't. But most
I hate that that's become both the new system and the new mobile system, because I have a brand new 3DS.
Mm-hmm.
It's not obsolete. Fuck.
It's a bit. It's...
I don't want to buy a Switch just to play Pokemon. Well, that's what they're trying to do, isn't it? Because now I'm like, maybe I should buy a Switch. I don't play video games. What am I talking about? No, but honestly, I would buy one just to get the Pokemon game.
Yeah.
Fuck. Now I'm really mad.
You could probably just borrow mine to play a Pokemon game.
No.
Okay, fine. Be that way. But no, Sword and Shield. They didn't really announce much. They just announced the games. We knew it's been in production for a while. They announced it like 2 E3s ago. During the first year of the Switch, they announced that they were working on it. They didn't give any information about it until now, though. But my phone keeps going off for some reason. But they did announce the starters.
I've seen them.
Uh,
I saw another meme where they look exactly like the Powerpuff Girls. Like they line
they
up.
do kind of look like the Powerpuff
Because the
Girls.
one's got the little points on the side, and the one's got the wave in the hair, and the other one's like got orange and this. And I just thought it was really funny because it was so true.
My phone just died before I could read the names.
Whatever. They're Pokemon-y names.
First one was Grocky, or not the first one they announced, but the first one in the picture I was looking at was Grocky, which is a grass type, and he looks like a kind of monkey. I think that's cool because I like monkeys. We haven't seen a grass type monkey before.
No, I just
We've
got a
seen
bunch of
monkeys of other
charms, and
ones.
it's a fire monkey.
Yeah, and that was the 3rd gen.
I don't know these things. I don't care what they're called. You just look at them. Because I couldn't read when I got my first Pokemon
There's like
game.
over 600, 700 Pokemon anyway, so to memorize all of those names is like...
What was I going to say? I was going to say something
You didn't know
important.
how to read when you...
Got my first Pokemon game.
I didn't know the concept of video games when I had my first Pokemon game.
Okay.
Because I think my dad had a Game Boy Color, and he just let me and my brother use it.
Well, for my 6th birthday, or 5th birthday, or whatever, I'm like, I really want a Game Boy like my friends have, and I really want Pokemon and Mario World.
Yeah.
Or Mario World, that's what I said. It was the first time I'd ever asked for anything, specific. But I said I want a Game Boy Color because it's cheaper. And then I got a Game Boy Advance. I'm like, awesome. But the games were too big for it, right? Because they stuck out, so it looked weird. But I got Pokemon Crystal as my first video game.
Yeah.
Ever. And I couldn't read because I was 6. And you should be able to read, but I couldn't read well enough to, like, follow the story. So
On a Game Boy Advance?
Yeah, you can play color games on a Game Boy Advance.
Game Boy Advances are old enough for you to have been 6?
Yeah.
Oh, I guess my brother didn't get one until they came out with the SP.
Yeah.
Yours was just a original Advance?
Yeah, I also had an SP.
But later in your life, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
No.
But anyway, my first thing that I'm like, I can read, tackle and things. I get it, but I'm like not really reading the story, right? Because I can't read well enough. And I'm just, and then I got stuck, and then I couldn't figure out how to get out, so I had to give it to my dad.
Yeah.
And I'm like, Dad, I can't get to the next town. And then he played it for like 35 minutes. Just like, neither can I. And then my brother, who's even younger, gave him the Game Boy. He fucking did it.
Oh, it's great.
And that's just how my life went. Whenever I get stuck in a Pokemon game.
While we're talking about stories about not learning how to read, so like, I think I was like, it was either play school or kindergarten or whatever, and I had no school or something, and my mom was also home for whatever reason, and I was like really young, basically. So my mom was like, "Ooh, I'll put on some Scooby-Doo for you so you can watch some TV. I'm gonna go downstairs for a bit while you watch Scooby-Doo." I'm like, okay. What was on the TV when she went downstairs was the instructional video for the remote controller. So I'm sitting there waiting for Scooby-Doo to come on, and about like a good 10 minutes I'm like, I want to watch Scooby-Doo. I think my mom didn't turn it to the right channel, but I couldn't read, so like if I were to try, I was like, I can't turn it to the right channel. I don't know which one's Scooby-Doo. So I sat there for a good half hour until my mom came back upstairs and was like, "What happened to Scooby-Doo? You didn't turn it to Scooby-Doo. I was waiting for it." And then she's like, "Oh, it's done now." I'm like, I couldn't read. I really wanted to watch Scooby-Doo. Okay.
I learned how to watch. I remember learning to tell time by what time the shows would come on.
Mm-hmm.
So I would be like, Mom would be like, with the long hand hits the 12 and the short hand hits the 4, then Arthur is on.
Yeah.
So, and she's like, and you can watch Arthur. So I would sit and watch the clock until the one hand was on the 12 and then the one hand on the 4. And then one day I realized, hey, movies are like 2 hours, but TV shows are exactly 27 minutes. Because I watched, because the time code on the VHS tape. Fun times.
Cool.
So I'm like, wait, if it goes half an hour and half an hour, so then that means after Arthur, the next show will start at 4:30. That's when things cut. That's when I learned how to tell time, just to watch TV.
Nice.
Yeah.
But no, Pokemon Sword and Shield, despite it being on the Switch, which again, it
just sucks because I don't have a Switch.
Except for the DS and the 3DS, they've usually only had like one gen per
I know.
per device.
And I can play my Sun and Moon and my I have both now, X and Y and White and Black.
White and Black.
Wow, no one's ever said
White
that.
and Black is the DS one. The second gen on the DS, and yeah.
I have them all because I have all my brother's games.
Yeah. But yeah. So yeah. So moving on from that, let's do a very quickly trailers that came out this week. Dark Phoenix.
So they're remaking X-Men 3
Mm-hmm.
with this new cast of characters.
Mm-hmm.
That's it.
Well, they're adapting the same storyline, is why it comes off a bit of a remake.
And that's the worst one. Why remake that one?
Because it's the most popular It's because it's the most popular saga, and a lot of people are complaining like you can't do a saga in a movie very easily.
Or you know what? It didn't work last time. Don't do it again.
Yeah. But it does look better, at least. They've learned a little bit from their mistakes.
Yeah, but she's not been in the other one, so the
What?
stakes are lower.
She's not been in the... What do you mean?
She wasn't a main character in the other ones.
She was in Apocalypse?
Apocalypse sucks. You can't kick out that.
No. But... No, it's, They're showing more of the space stuff. The X3, everything was on Earth, when Dark Phoenix is a freaking cosmic force. You have to have some space stuff to do it right. So they're at least doing that. I do like this what they've done with like the newer ones, with Mystique being an X-Men now. That's kind of cool.
I like the First Class because it's like kind of an origin story, but in a new timeline. But what's cool because we never saw that origin story of Xavier and Mystique, so I just in my head could be like that's how it was before.
Well, that's the thing is Apocalypse
before the ones that I really enjoyed as a kid.
Yeah, but that's the thing too is Days of Future Past combined them both.
Yeah. Which was cool.
Where Wolverine went back in time and essentially fixed the timeline.
Yeah, I know. But it's cool because in my head I'm like, well, that's... Because now it's sort of like those movies are all interconnected in a unique way. And X-Men was my favorite growing up, so...
I really like... First Class was really good. Days of Future Past was really good. Logan was really good.
I never saw that. Even though...
Good. You've never seen Logan?
Here, let me tell you a story. Logan came out at a time in my life where I was already very sad.
Okay.
And X-Men is my favorite thing. Wolverine is my favorite character.
Die. Okay.
He dies?
Well, it's Hugh Jackman's last role of him, so...
But you know what I mean? I was like... I'm gonna skip
Yeah.
this one.
Yeah.
And then people are like, I told them, like, what was going on. They're like, skip this one.
Yeah, it's a sad one.
Like, it wasn't it came
It's
out
a
of
really good movie.
No, I don't doubt it. I do want to see it. I just, I gotta be ready for that. Because
Shame it's no longer on Netflix, because it was on Netflix for a good chunk.
I think I want to do, like, an X-Men rewatch, and then
yeah,
I'll watch
I want to do that before we watch Dark Phoenix,
Ooh,
too.
then we can start it soon.
Yeah.
Tonight, let's do it. Screw karaoke.
But no,
I'm kidding,
new
we're
stuff.
going to karaoke.
This new trailer, they showed some stuff that didn't make it look quite as much like a remake. Where the other trailer, it looked like a freaking remake of X3. This one actually showed some
I
newer
thought it was
footage,
the other-
some changed stuff.
Well, to me, I just saw some of the things that I remember from that movie in there, and I'm like, well,
There was still a bit of that. But there was a bit of that in the first trailer, too.
yeah.
Well, there was more of it in the first trailer.
Yeah.
Is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
There was more newer stuff in this.
Yeah.
And also a little
But it
twist
also,
on
to
that,
me,
too,
it felt
where-
like, oh, yeah, this is a remake.
And also a little twist in there in where
But they've all
they're
been
implying
kind
that
of
Mystique
remakes.
is going to be the one dying as opposed to Xavier or Cyclops.
Did Xavier die in X3?
Yes. Well,
That was my least favorite one. I like the second one.
second one's probably the best of the
Now, let me
original
tell you another
trilogy.
story about X-Men.
The original X-Men trilogy.
Let me tell you a story. A short
We
one.
don't. Yeah, very short.
So when I was a kid, I used to rent the X-Men's from the Rogers Video. Okay.
Yeah.
Stop.
No, fast. Like seriously, we're running low on time.
It's fine. And I swear one time I rented a movie called X-Men 2.5.
Yes, they came out with those. It was basically just re-releases of the two. They did it with Spider-Man 2
Okay,
too.
but let me tell you finish my story. So it was different because
Yeah.
like they added something
They
or
added
whatever.
some deleted scenes, I think.
Yeah. So I'd always be like, Mom, I want to watch X-Men 1.5 or 2.5, whatever it
Yeah.
was. And she's like, that isn't real. I'm like, it's real. I remember it. And then I could never find it in the Rogers Video.
Yeah.
So then I thought I was crazy.
It's time to carry on.
So I thought I was crazy. You know?
Yeah.
But now you're saying it's true. But like to this day, I was like, it was just
No,
crazy.
I remember those when I was a kid too.
I liked it
They're
better
hard to
because
get to.
cause they were.
I didn't watch those because when they were releasing them, I was not allowed to watch those movies.
Well, I watched them. I rented them at the Rogers Video. They weren't like new. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I had a little pink portable DVD player,
Yeah.
and I had my little sleeve of DVDs, and eventually I had the X-Men's in
Yeah.
there.
Well, our local video store didn't have like the hugest variety of
Yeah.
everything. So
Like I never went to Blockbuster. I went to Rogers Video, which was just
yeah,
like Blockbuster.
I went to Rogers Video in the city. But if we were just like, let's rent a movie, we'd go into my small town hometown and just get just from a local rental shop, which died like midway through my childhood. But yeah, so we just go to the local place and pick out some movies.
Next.
Yeah, and yeah, once it closed down, we went to Rogers more, but we were only in town like once a week.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I'll
On
still
to something
see
else.
it. Like I'll
Yeah,
still see
it
Dark
looks good.
Phoenix, but I'm like, ugh. I
it
don't
looks
know.
better than the first trailer made it look.
Okay.
Is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Brightburn.
If Superman was evil, but not by DC.
Mm.
I'm just thinking this playing it real close to the story. He's got all the same powers and
Oh, yeah.
stuff. Especially in this one where you see like some laser stuff and flying and all this sort of stuff, and it's like,
But they don't have the copyright on the powers.
no, but I'm like, it's so close.
Oh yeah, definitely.
But like, and then we were talking about it while we were watching the trailer, and you're like, well, the guy who's directing it also directs for DC, so it's like
Well, it's about to direct.
we're
for
about to
DC.
direct for DC, so it's all in good standing.
But the
I'm-
guy who produced it, the guys who directed it, is brothers of the guy who produced it. So
you know what I mean? It's just sort of like,
yeah. James Gunn, if you're wondering,
feels-
is producing it.
It feels really close, and it looks amazing. Like I'm
Yeah.
down for any horror movie
Oh,
with a
yeah.
superhero. Sounds amazing because we don't see a lot
I
of that.
kind of like the first trailer more, just because the first trailer like matched the trailer for Man of Steel until like near the end when it started getting off the like, oh, it's a horror movie actually kind of thing. Because I feel like if you never seen the trailer for Man of Steel and you never seen the trailer for this and you're like wanting to watch Man of Steel and you somehow stumbled onto the first trailer first,
Yeah.
the first trailer of this, I mean, I feel like for the most part you would think it was Man of Steel until like the last couple seconds of the trailer.
Like, I feel like this is what an Elseworld story from DC should be like.
Mm-hmm.
They should be independent, like not linked to anything with DC.
Oh, but that
And just give it like, you know what, you do, like, and run with it. And that's what these people have done. They've run with an idea.
that's kind of what the Joker is, though.
I know, but the Joker is just
Because he's already a big character that's been done. over
yeah,
and
like
over
why
again.
don't you do one that's similar without just being like the Joker,
But
Joker
that's
this,
what-
Joker that.
Elseworld stories in the comics are too.
I know, but this
Like,
is a different
Gotham
medium.
by Gaslight is still about Batman. It's just about Batman if he was in Victorian London.
Yeah, but they wouldn't call that Batman.
Batman Gotham by Gaslight, I'm pretty sure is
They'd
the
call
full
it
name.
like Gotham by Gaslight. That would be the name of the movie.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is something really important, and now I'm blanking.
You want like more original stories.
Yeah, more original stories.
Not just like
Or
yeah.
don't call it Joker.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like, you know, I'd be honest for a
And
second.
the thing with
I
the
really,
Joker too is okay.
I really liked Batman and Batman versus Superman. Where
Yeah.
he was.
Oh yeah.
It wasn't a retread.
He was the best part.
It wasn't a retread.
Mm-hmm.
The first like 10 minutes where we're just following him, or whatever. The first 10 minutes with him, anyway. I don't know.
Him
if
and
it-
Wonder Woman were the best parts of that movie. Batman v Superman, Dawn of Justice.
She was fine, but I really liked. Oh, we're not. It's not an origin story. It's not him just being in Gotham doing this. Blah blah blah. It's like him being a detective. It's him in a really different way than we've ever seen him before.
Mm-hmm.
An older man, more of a detective, more like the comics, and he was more in passing. It
And
wasn't.
that's the thing.
And I was just like, oh. And then the rest of the movie happened.
A lot of people liked his version of Batman too. Is he's a bit closer to like how Batman is portrayed in the Arkham video games too,
Yeah.
and I was playing a lot of those when that came out.
Yeah.
So I was kind of like, oh, this is what I want to see in my Batman.
Yeah.
Again, as I was saying earlier, a problem with that movie is they did a lot of storylines, and that older Batman versus Superman storyline is the Dark Knight Returns comic, graphic novel by Frank Miller, which is a really good novel. If you have the time, check out. If you don't want to read it, check out the straight to video Dark Knight Returns Part 1 and Part 2. That is like an animated film. An animated adaptation of the story, and it's just such a rich story, but because they did that on top of Apocalypse story, on top of Lex Luthor being weird and Jesse Eisenberg for some reason, on top of the death of Superman, because they did so much in the one film, that's why it failed, but their portrayal of Batman was pretty good.
That's the only like claim to fame that movie can have. Portrayal of Batman, pretty good. That should be like on the box, you know, in the quotes.
Yeah.
Like if it was honest quotes on there, instead of like amazing, mind blowing, it would be pretty good Batman.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. I like the Nolan Batman.
I liked him better than
best,
Christian Bale in terms of portrayal. I mean, The Dark Knight is hands down, well, not hands down, but for the longest time, one of my favorite superhero films.
Mm-hmm. Me too. Just favorite
definitely
films.
on my top 10 of
Favorite films. The second one,
favorite
yeah.
films.
Yep.
The Dark Knight, yeah.
Yeah. The second one, yeah.
And Heath Ledger's Joker
The
is
best.
yeah.
Just
I know the first time I watched that movie, I wasn't fully into it because it differed so much from the comics.
it's okay though. I've never read a comic book in my life.
That's why you like it more.
Just like that movie so much.
But repeat viewings made it be like, oh yeah.
I'd use it as an example in film class all the time.
Yeah. The Joker also in the comics, to go on a tangent about the Joker movie, is one of the reasons why it's probably going to fail. It's because the Joker doesn't have one origin story.
Yeah.
Like, it's portrayed in the Dark Knight a bit, and how he tells, do you know how I got these scars? Like, 2 different ways. But it's also, in the comics, he tells his origin story like multiple times, and it's always different too. But there's also a new thing of how like there's more than one Joker too, so that's a bit of like a what. So I'm not gonna get into that.
Now what I was thinking DC should do if they want to be all scatterbrained, make a more structured anthology series. Each episode different. Each episode give a
Like
different direction.
TV show.
Could be a TV show. Could be a series of short films. Could be a Netflix show, which is an hour. Which is like it's its own medium
like a
now.
TV show.
But like more like a movie TV show, so
Yeah.
like a Netflix TV show.
Yeah,
You know, like
it would be great for the DC.
give
streaming service.
every episode a different director, and they can do a DC movie.
Yeah.
1 hour.
It'd be great
go
for
for
the
it.
streaming service that they have.
An hour, do what you want.
Yeah,
You know how amazing that would be.
that would be.
If you want to be scatterbrained, do it smart.
But
Take
no,
that
back
idea
to,
and steal it from me, DC.
back to Brightburn.
You
I
go
kinda-
ahead.
I kind of like the first trailer better
Oh,
than
I have
this
something
one.
else to add to my story.
What story?
No, what I was saying. Have you ever seen the comics or if Stan Lee wrote DC?
I've read a couple of those.
Yeah, like that, just let them do whatever they want.
Yeah, those are also Elseworld stories.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Make an anthology series like that.
Yeah.
Do it, DC. Steal
Some
it
of
from
them, his Batman one's the best.
I don't know. I just saw Linkara.
The other
review them.
ones, I watched a couple of Linkara reviews. I read some of them. I think I read the Flash one. The Flash one was interesting, but the Batman was the best. But that's also, he's more like a Marvel character than any of the other DC characters. Because the DC characters are like more gods dealing in a human world, where Marvel is humans with godlike powers. Marvel stories are more centered on the person, a personal struggle, where DC stories are a bit more, they're still a little personal, especially Batman. Batman's definitely the most personal one. But DC stories are definitely more like gods and how the world views them, or how they view the world, especially a lot of the bigger ones. But no, back to Brightburn.
I'm just like, yay!
Yeah, I like but compare the 2 trailers though. Do you like the first one, the first Man of Steel-esque one?
I like the first.
more?
The first trailer was better, but the second trailer was smart.
Yeah.
We already got our interest peaked, and then the second one's like, this is what you're gonna get.
Yeah.
And it was like exactly what you thought you were gonna
second
get.
one was a horror trailer, where the first one was a Man of Steel spoof trailer.
Yeah, but it was like, ooh, that piqued my interest, and the second one's like, okay, this is what you're actually gonna get. It's not just gonna be. And it was like, this is what I thought it would be like, and it actually is. Like, it just sort of like, it was like a 1-2 punch, and I'm gonna go see the movie.
Oh yeah,
Like,
it looked so good.
it's not like, oh, which trailer was better. It's like, no. They're both part of a larger strategy, and I saw the strategy, and the strategy worked, unlike Alita. I hate Alita.
Can you stop talking about that?
No.
I feel like I'm gonna see it without you just so I can be like, it was okay.
No!
Okay, Shazam. You were talking. It's
We
a
already
really
talked-
big. We didn't talk about the trailer.
No, but we talked about Shazam already.
No,
I mentioned it earlier.
you mentioned it earlier.
That's what I said.
Yeah, but the trailer, Shazam.
Yeah.
Good, cool trailer.
Yeah, I liked it. I like when he said how I'm basically 15.
Yeah,
Because he's 14.
yeah.
That's what you say when you're 14. And I liked when he's like, oh, I want to buy your finest beer. It looks funny. And DC movies have a tendency to have funny trailers and not be funny movies. So don't disappoint me, DC. I'm giving you one more chance.
Have a tendency. Oh, you
Like-
mean Suicide Squad?
Yes, that's a
Okay.
tendency.
That's a one trailer. Okay.
Fuck off.
Well, two if you count Justice League, because that had like funnier parts.
Yeah.
Again, we still haven't seen that movie, so we can't really judge. But
The dog
what
is
I have
snoring.
seen of it is bad.
The dog is snoring. Don't die, dog.
No.
You okay, dog?
But
Wake
yeah, it
up.
looks really good. She's awake, dude.
Oh, look, she's awake.
No, really good story. Well,
Really good story.
really good looking tone. Good trailer.
I hope so.
It looks like a good story. Like, you can't. It's hard for them to make a trailer like that and not have the movie be like that. And if Aquaman shows Wonder Woman was a bigger success than they were expecting, so then when they did Justice League, which again they reshot half the movie when they only had like 6 months left until release. So
It's always a bad
it was
idea.
doomed to fail. But Aquaman did really well. I think the trailers made Aquaman look good, so I want to see Aquaman. Shazam looks really good.
Aquaman
It's definitely
didn't grab me, but Shazam is. So you've got one chance.
yeah,
And if you fuck this up, I'm never watching Justice League or Aquaman.
yeah.
Those are your stakes, DC. One idiot on the internet won't see your movie if it's not good.
Yeah, but no, it looks like they're starting to get a hang of what audiences want from this universe. They don't want a super dark, gritty, everybody's the same character.
Yeah, we liked the dark and gritty Batmans back in the day, but
Yeah,
that's not what
but
we're looking
that's not
for
who
now.
Superman is.
No.
Superman's never been dark and gritty, so when you do that, it's a bit of like a ugh.
Yeah.
So
Just do more Lego Batman. He's my favorite Batman. No, probably my favorite Batman. Not my favorite Batman movie.
my favorite Batman is probably.
This is my frame of reference.
Are we
Affleck,
only talk?
Nolan,
Wait, if you're including
Batman.
If you're
I mean Lego Batman.
yeah, if you're including Lego Batman, then I can include Kevin Conroy.
Sure.
He has been the voice of Batman for years
Yeah.
in the animation.
The animated show looks really good, and I'd actually like to watch it.
The animated series, you mean?
Yeah, like where Mark Hamill's the Joker.
Mark Hamill as the Joker.
And that's where they introduced Harley Quinn and all. I feel like
Yeah.
that's when they hit their stride with this universe.
Do you actually want to watch that? Because I've been meaning to rewatch the DC animated universe,
Yeah.
which that is a part of.
Yeah.
Oh my god! It's also known as the Bruce Timmiverse because it was all created by Bruce Timm.
Yeah, and then I would know all these penguins and such.
Oh my god! So
These penguins and such.
it's still a kids show, but
So,
yeah,
I'm a kid on the inside.
of course.
We can always kidnap one.
Of
I'm
course.
kidding. I'm kidding. Don't put me on a list.
Yeah, but no, funnier tone. It's definitely a smaller movie, and it's understanding that it can be a smaller movie. It doesn't have to be the fate of the world.
Yeah, I don't like those movies anymore.
Yeah.
Except for Endgame. Endgame. Alright. I can't think about it.
But no, like the reason Marvel works is because they have the smaller stories, like
Build up to the world
that build
ending.
up to the big.
To the
ones.
frickin' universe ending.
Yeah. Exactly. Hellboy. Keeping on our superhero. Everything's a superhero trailer this
Are we horror commentaries or superhero commentaries? We've done us one superhero commentary. And 27 horror movie commentaries. So you take those odds and you figure out what we are.
Hellboy.
So my biggest question when watching the trailer is, do his hair grow like nails or like
You
so?
mean his horns?
His horns? Because he has big horns sometimes.
He has hair and horns.
So I asked Sarah. I was like, Sarah, does his horns grow back? Like, why are they sometimes short? And Sarah's like, oh, he files them. I'm like, does that mean he just let them grow for a while? And that's what he's in the trailer? And the answer was, I don't think so. And that was my discussion with Sarah about this trailer before we did this podcast.
I don't know the storyline that they're adapting. I know my brother does, because when we watched when I was over for Christmas, I'm watching my names. We watched the first trailer came out, and we watched that, and he was like, "Oh, they're adapting that storyline," and me, who has read a little bit of the Hellboy comics, couldn't get into them quite as much. Mostly because whenever I watch a movie and then read the comics, it's a bit harder for me to get into the comics, just because I already know where the story is going to go, often. But no, it was good. Part of me is like, you still could have probably done this story without it have been a reboot, because it sounds like they're retreading a bit on the origin story from the original Hellboy movie.
I've never seen Hellboy, which I've probably mentioned because we've talked about their trailers before.
We'll watch.
On here, I think we have.
We'll watch the two Hellboy movies, the Guillermo del Toro ones.
Okay.
Do you not want to?
Well, I want to watch this Batman animated show now.
Okay.
All right, that's up for our trailers. Yes.
Yeah.
For the trailers,
But
like it looks good.
do you think Hellboy looks good?
Yeah, like I didn't like this trailer. It wasn't like the 1-2 punch of what's its name, Brightburn, but it didn't deter me, but it didn't add anything for me.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it wasn't like 1-2 punch. It was just like two mediocre punches, and sure, I'll see it.
To me, it kind of showed a bit of like who the villain is a bit more, and I'm like, okay, I think creepy. I know where this story is.
I was like, ugh, when he turned into that cheetah or whatever it was.
Yeah, and that's just kind of the story of Hellboy, and the world of the comics
like
too.
Like the darker world, almost like the grittier. I'm
not
down
gritty,
for it,
but like gothic. Kind
of.
of.
That's what I meant.
Yeah.
All right, what's next, Sarah?
Trailers we watched before the movie.
Because we always see a movie, except for when we don't. What were they?
The trailers were Endgame. We've seen it already, but
we're down for that. We're down for that.
Looks fine.
Not fine.
I mean, no, it looks good. Can't wait.
We have to not think about it, or else we're just going to be stuck in an existential crisis of who's dead and who's not.
I want to go to the adult theater. The 19-plus theater, so we can drink.
Why don't we just go to the Carlton Theater? You can always drink there.
Oh. I kind of want to see it in IMAX.
Okay. Yeah. Carlton Theater is also super cheap, and you can drink.
Yeah. But, yeah.
Still nothing new to say because you've already talked about it on here multiple times.
The beach bum.
Oh, God. I don't even know what it's about, and I don't care to.
All I remember, some stoner.
Some beach bum being a beach bum.
They showed parts of the story.
There was a story?
I don't remember it.
That's not a good sign for a trailer.
It's either he moved to a new town, or he starts a new career, or he gets in trouble with the law, or something like that. It's really hard to understand. I really didn't care too much to pay enough attention to it. The Hustle, the Anne Hathaway, Rebel Wilson movie, where Anne Hathaway's this really good intelligent con artist, and Rebel Wilson's just this
shitty one.
low grade con artist. Like,
and it's like a funny movie. All I just remember thinking is like, are they both putting on like strange Australian accents? And then you're like, because I whispered this to you in the theater.
Yeah.
And you're like, whatever.
Rebel Wilson is
Australian. But and you're like, an Anne Hathaway is putting on a British accent. I'm like, they were all mixing in my head.
Yeah.
I was getting all confused,
Yeah,
and I was
she's putting on a proper British, like the very much up front, like, I'm gonna have tea with the Queen later.
I think that's what my British accent was like when I used to be British.
Well, you were upper class.
I don't know. It was like not Cockney accent, but from London, so like that. British.
Well, it might be Londoner accent too.
I don't know.
Were you closer to like Rose Tyler in Doctor Who, or closer to up here?
There.
Okay, so
I was
you were
4.
Proper. You're a proper British.
From my private school.
When
I was British.
No, it looks funny. The
I'm
Hustle.
down for that movie. You know, I like Anne Hathaway.
Probably won't go for theaters.
No, unless it was like on the $5 Tuesday or whatever.
Yeah, or if it's like the only thing playing and we really want to have theater popcorn.
Which is my only goal in life. But now that we can do it with Uber Eats, I'm getting fat.
We did that like once.
We did it like 4 times.
Twice.
Okay.
I've brought popcorn home from the theaters a couple times.
And I steal it.
Yeah.
Sometimes. I ask first.
Yeah. I say go for it most of the time because I wouldn't have been able to finish it myself.
Movie popcorn is my favorite thing. It's my kryptonite. I'll eat it.
But no, looks funny.
What if Superman ate kryptonite? He'd fucking die. So it's not my kryptonite.
Yeah.
It's my drug of choice.
Probably catch it on Netflix more.
I don't think you were hearing me.
Popcorn's your drug of choice?
Yes.
I had to like say it for it to like kick into what you were saying. Like I had to deconstruct.
Because I'm like, it's like my kryptonite.
Like,
but if you ate kryptonite and you were Superman, you would die. So it's more like my drug of choice.
Yeah. Us.
It's the same trailer. They had
Is
this.
it the same trailer or was it an extended trailer?
It was very similar.
Because I don't remember any of that bunny stuff.
I remember the bunnies.
No.
No, I really liked, in our theater they had this poster that if you stood on one side it was like the normal family, and if you stood on the other side
that was a great design.
It was the other family, and I was so excited about this poster. Like I went and found you and like pulled you out of the line to go look at it. You're like, dude, I'm getting my food. I'm like, no, come look at this poster. And when have I ever done that in my whole life?
Yeah.
Been so excited for a poster. Because it was just like triangles. It wasn't like, it wasn't moving or anything. But as you walked around the theater, if you were on this side of the theater, it was like
it was pretty cleverly designed.
And if you were right in front of it, you could see half and half. It was like what?
Pretty cleverly designed.
I work in printing, and this is like...
Cupboard. And even like... I feel like I would see if they were to do the same type of concept on like a computer ad, like an internet ad. I feel like they could do it too. It's like only instead of you physically moving, they just like move the slide over a bit.
I think it's just because it's practical, and I work in practical print every day. So for me,
great.
Posters, like when I see a really well like
the cardboard cutout.
Yeah. Well, it's not cardboard; it's foam core. But I didn't touch it. I swear.
Cardboard?
It may have been cardboard. I actually didn't touch it. I should have. I'll touch it next time.
Yeah.
But that's what I do, right? So like, I was like, oh, to just get that printed would be like 6 months of phone calls. Like I know how much effort had to go into a design like that. I appreciate it because that's what I work with every day.
I'm still really excited for that trailer.
I'm really excited for that movie. I'm down.
I mean, that movie. That's what I meant to say.
I know what you meant. So that's why I went with what you meant to say.
I can't wait for it to come out.
Yeah, me either. All right. But it's the same things, really, so.
Yeah. This will end part 1 of this podcast because we're running quite long. We're still going to talk about the movie we watched. We watched Greta.
So catch us in part 2.
Yeah. Catch us in part 2.
Bye-bye.